Hello people, how are we doing? I'm here for now. Well, I'm already here. That's pretty obvious. And hopefully my camera will do what I want it to. It's not doing it right now, but it's close enough. But we're here. That's the main thing. It is my Friday stream. I'm trying to, again, where possible, try and keep to my schedule. Granted, my schedule is 2 days, but you would be surprised, given how busy my schedule is outside of streaming, that those 2 days happen. I am generally extremely tired most of the time. But I'm here, and that's the main thing. And so today, we have no plans. I mean, very few plans. I hope I have plans, but it's very rare that I have plans that come to fruition. So, elephant in the room, as well, some of you may not have noticed. In my stream title, for example, we have unlocked a new follower goal. That was very unexpected. So my latest follower goal was at 50 followers. I was not at 50 followers last time I was streaming, and now I am. That was very unexpected. I have an idea as to where they came from, but they were not here last time. Sven, welcome to my stream. Hello, how are you doing? Hope your morning is going well. I'm assuming morning. Hopefully it's going well. Welcome to my stream. This is, this is one of the few streams that I try to do somewhat consistently. The temperature today is not stupidly high, so I can actually stream without melting, which is always handy. Because my computer is not amazing. My computer is like 5 years old. It was good when I got it. It's seen better days now, so I am going to try and upgrade it. Hopefully in the near future. Well, parts of it anyway. Morning because overslept in the chaos of upstream. Yeah, that's fair. I keep hearing about this after stream club that you guys are going to, and it always seems very full of shenanigans. I would love to be able to go there sometime. Unfortunately, because I'm on the other side of the world, my time zones are not my friend in that particular aspect. So one day maybe, I don't know. It also depends on me also not oversleeping as well, because again, time zones. But I'm glad to see you. Welcome in. Normally I will, I aim to go for more streaming where I can, as much as I can, as long as I don't burn myself out, ideally. So I have, at this rate, 2 streams that I try to do relatively consistently this time of day, which for me is a Friday night. End of my week, sometimes. My schedule is a bit fucky. Streaming is fun, but indeed exhausting. It is. I definitely enjoy streaming, but it is very exhausting on top of the just general life stuff. So I would love to do more of it, but that pesky life stuff is kind of what gives me an income at the moment. So I kind of need to do that one. And so I do that. And so I do this one, which is my Friday night. Sometimes this is kind of leading into my weekend. Sometimes it doesn't. On the nights where it's not where it is leading into my weekend, it's great because I can just kind of do whatever the hell I want and not have to worry about waking up at silly times in the morning. Although I kind of do that anyway because there is another stream that I watch that you are familiar with, Mr. Crow Alternative. And for me, well, he starts streaming at like 5 in the morning, and that's why I generally can't watch from the beginning of his streams, because I like him. I don't really want to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning if I can help it, so I jump in when I can. And so I have this time of stream, and I also have sleep has not been his friend either. So, I mean, I think, that probably doesn't help at all. That's all right. Raven's sleeping enough for 2 of them at the moment, so that kind of balances out. My other stream is, for me, it's Monday morning. For you guys, it's, I think, Sunday night, oftentimes. That one I try to do relatively more consistently because I like to try and give options for people around the world. So this time is a good time for go to drink water. Oh yes, she definitely should. Hopefully, she's, well, now that she's got a few people watching over her, hopefully she will be doing that. And I've tried to help in my own little way. I've sent her a few little things on Throne to hopefully help entice her to stay hydrated. So hopefully that helps. And yeah, so I stream like now, and I stream on, like, I guess for you guys, Sunday nights, and because I like to have my options for everybody who might be watching. So this time is good for like Northern Hemisphere mornings and Australian nights. Granted, I don't know if there's a lot of people watching on a Friday night in Australia due to it being, you know, Friday night, and people, you know, out and about doing things. And whereas, you know, Friday morning might have some people, you know, getting ready for work potentially. Just have something to have on in the background. You never know. But I like to try and make it so that whatever time I'm streaming is useful for somebody. And the more I stream, the more I want to stream. I was actually really annoyed because earlier I did a post on my Instagram about an hour ago, and for a while my neighbors had been playing some very loud music, and it would have been audible on my mic. I have a noise gate. It would have been audible through that, and it was not a style of music that I was particularly fond of. So if it was music that I liked, I would be a little bit more tolerable of it pounding through my walls. But it was not. I don't even know who it was, but it was not one that I want to trade neighbors. That depends on the neighbors. I've got one side which is generally good, and the other side which is occasionally good. But like I said, it's Friday night, so I was not overly surprised that they were pounding music through my walls, and I was not thrilled with that. Chainsaw in the morning at 7 a.m. Right, okay, that's also not great. I can't say I've had that for a while, but I did have, I don't even know if they were my neighbors, but they were loud enough that I could hear them. Probably a couple of nights ago, I was able to get in quite early to the Crow Alternative stream because I had someone in the vicinity of my house basically having a domestic argument that I could hear quite clearly. I'm pretty sure they weren't my neighbors. Their voices were not familiar, but they were loud enough that that didn't matter. And so I kind of just stayed awake from that point because I was like, there's no sleeping through this. There's no sleeping through that at all. So I don't even know who these people were. Who was yelling obscenities at other people at a silly time of the morning? That was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was just like, I might be awake at that time. I am not coherent at that time. I haven't been for a while. Like I used to work a lot further away than where I do currently, and I had to get up regularly before 6 o'clock to get to my job beforehand. And even then, I was largely just running on autopilot until at least 7 o'clock, sometimes 7:30. And that was not ideal because some of that time I was driving. So probably should be a little more alert when I'm driving. I had a lot of... I think the term is highway hypnosis from that job, because after a while the roads just keep looking the same, and eventually it's just, oh, I'm here now. Okay, that's lucky. I don't remember that trip at all. That happened so many times. That is not a good thing. There were a few times where luckily I kind of woke up in the middle, because my car was drifting to the side of the road, and in Australia, at least, there's like the lines on the side of the road have like a thing to them. So if you're driving over them, it kind of causes a vibration through the car. And I had that, and that tends to wake you up because it's like, oh shit, I need to be paying attention. That happened also on many occasions. That's why I don't like driving cars. That's fair. I would like do other things, but where I live, public transport is not amazing. I don't mind public transport. There's a hair flying in front of my camera. Don't worry about it. And I don't mind public transport. It's just unfortunately where I live, it's not very reliable. And so if I didn't have to drive a car, I probably wouldn't. But luckily where I work now is a lot closer. So I don't have to do as much driving. It's great. It saves so much money on fuel, which is amazing. I love not having to spend stupid amounts of money every week on fuel to go to work, because that does not balance out. Now, I'm like 5-minute drive from home. It's great. It is such a time saver. And I love that. So that's great. Excuse me. So yes, it has been a long week. I've had a migraine for most of it. I tried streaming through the last migraine. It could have gone better. It was a very short stream because my ability to focus was being greatly hampered by my head feeling like there was an axe going through it. So, you too, yeah. It's been great fun. Luckily, it's kind of eased up now, which is great. It only took like 4 days, which is 3 days longer than I would like a migraine to go for. It's not great, and also not helped by the fact that the pain relievers that I had at home did very little, and so I had to go into the pharmacist and get something a little stronger. That kind of helped a little bit. At least it was enough that I was able to not focus. Also, I had a migraine for the past 4 days. Damn, that's really annoying. What are the odds? Yeah, that's really annoying. It's like, I would say it's going around, but migraines aren't really like contagious to my knowledge. But that's not great. And yeah, so I mean, it could be worse. It's not a heart attack, so and because the weather warming up. I mean, it could be. It's quite warm here at the moment. The weather's been all kind of funky, so that could definitely be throwing something into the air about it, and that is not fun. And it was, yeah. I was saying to Raven recently. Well, I sent her a message. I don't know if she's seen it yet. I kind of feel bad about complaining about my migraine, because like the migraine sucks, but you know, it's not a heart attack, or you know, organ troubles. I've had that as well, not recently, luckily. It's not a fun club to be sharing with another person, because fun fact, I don't think you've heard this story, at least not yet. Fun fact, I have nearly died about 4 to 5 times, which I'm pretty sure is about 4 times more than the average person should nearly be dying. Most of them were not my fault, so and probably the one most pertinent to this particular scenario. Hello, King. Welcome to the stream. Sorry you're late. That is all good. Welcome in. Hadn't got the name. That's all right. I'm just glad to see you here in general. So, you may or may not have heard this story, King. I was just telling a story that I don't think Sven has heard about how I've nearly died about 4 or 5 times. And the one most pertinent to another certain streamer's situation, which is a commonality I was not expecting to share, was at least one of those times I was also severely dehydrated, but for me at least it was because also work, so we muted but on support. That's all good. You do what you got to do, get that work done. And yeah, so I had to go to the so I also had to be hospitalized due to dehydration. For me, it was due to a stomach bug. I basically, for about 24 hours, I could not take in any food or liquid, but it was all coming out. So I was losing a lot of fluid and having no intake whatsoever. And after, about 24 hours, like I had initially just kind of hoped that it would have passed, but it was not passing, which was not fun. At a certain point, I called the ambulance because I was like, I am not doing well, and I live alone. I have a cat. She can't work a phone or a door lock, to my knowledge. And so I called the ambulance, and they saw me. That was basically the last thing I had energy to do, because I basically collapsed after I hung up the phone. I basically was just like, okay, this is not good. And so by the time they arrived, the paramedics, first they shot me full of something to hopefully help reduce the amount of times I was puking, which is great. Have me on the background. It is Friday. No, it's good. Fair enough. And so the paramedics came in. They shot me full of something to hopefully help me stop puking. And they took my vitals and they put me in the ambulance. Apparently, my heart rate was dangerously low. Presumably because of the dehydration and the fact that there was no fluids coming in. So my heart rate was dangerously low, and if I had left it much longer, I might not have been conscious to call the ambulance, and that could have been a problem, because again, I live alone. And so they took me to the hospital. They put me straight into the ICU. That's never a good sign. You don't want to be the first person that the doctors are looking at when you go to the hospital, because generally that means that shit is not looking good. And so they brought me in, and for the next 18 hours, they basically had me on a constant stream of IVs to get things back up again, because luckily the anti-puking medication was doing a relatively good job. I still felt nauseous, but I didn't feel like I was actively going to puke. So that's nice. So I kind of went in the opposite direction to Miss Alternative. Hers skyrocketed to the point of borderline heart failure. Mine just kind of plummeted to the point of borderline heart failure. That wasn't fun. My priorities were probably not great at the time, because again, I live with my cat, and when they were pumping me full of IVs, I was like, I have to go home. I have to make sure that my cat has enough food. And they're like, you were borderline conscious when you came in here. You are staying here until these IVs are done. And I was like, okay, I guess she's got enough food. So the IVs front, yeah. I don't know what was in them, but I know there was a couple of different types, because there was the first one was just like an emergency bag, basically. It was the full bag, and it emptied in like 10 minutes. And but then the rest of the bags, they were more like slow release, mostly potassium. That makes sense. But that was not fun. I had to spend the night in an uncomfortable hospital bed with a needle in my arm pumping me full of fluids. And Yeah, I kept peeing a lot after that, but at least I stopped puking. And one of the annoying things in hindsight, that was my weekend off, which meant that I was working, and then I was puking, and then I was in hospital, and then I was working again. Because evidently mine was not like they were not too concerned once I got the fluids back in, but until the fluids got in, they were just like, your heart rate is very dangerously low right now. We need to get that looked at right now. Hospital's not fun, but ringer IV is fun. Okay, well, luckily they're kind of that's the only time I've had to deal with IVs. Definitely not the only time I've had to deal with hospitals. I've had so much experience with hospitals, including one time where, for an unrelated issue, I had to get some ultrasounds done. I don't remember if they did ultrasounds for me during the puking episode, but they went to do ultrasounds for me, and that was all well and good. I kind of knew what they were doing with that, except I noticed that the file that they were saving it to was my brother's file, who has a very different name to me, does not live anywhere near me, and had been dead for about 6 years at that point. So I was like, why do you have his name on my file? And then they had to kind of figure out what just happened, because obviously, like, those files are slightly more pertinent to me. Less so him. But with, again, the being dead thing. That's probably not helping him at all. But yes, that one wasn't necessarily the dangerous one. That was just weird. And I was in a lot of pain at that point, so I was just like, fix it, please. And unfortunately, that particular issue is recurring, and they've never figured out why. That's great stuff. So that could happen, that particular issue, I won't go into the details of it, but I periodically get, the biggest symptom for this particular one is pain. Pain in my lower abdomen. And generally, I've had it enough times that I can feel when the precursors of it are about to kick in. And if I can get onto some sort of pain relievers before that pain hits about a 3 out of 10, I can usually ride it out and it'll fade down to nothing. If it doesn't get stopped before it, kidney stones, no, that's, they've done all the tests. And if it gets past 3, like if I don't get to it before it passes a 3 on the scale, that shit is hitting like 8 to 10 on the pain scale. And I go into shock. That's happened a few times. That's another time I've had to call an ambulance, and I got left on triage for that one. About 3 hours. That was great fun. And, but yeah, no, I've had that issue multiple times over the course of my life. They have done so many scans, and like basically every related area of the body has had some sort of test done on it, and every time they're just like, don't know what it is, best of luck. So that's great fun. I can't do anything to stop it because we don't know what causes it, just that it hits hard, it hits fast, and if I don't get to it fast enough, I just have to deal with being in an incredible amount of pain for about 3 to 5 hours. Be really great if I knew what that was. Press under the right side, so release it, does it hurt? Generally, no. No, that part, it's mostly on my left-hand side, this particular issue, more commonly. And yeah, so the doctors, it's been at multiple hospitals, multiple different occasions. They've done so many scans. I have had so much time wasted. Because in the end, they basically just give me, like, a paracetamol and just go, here you go. This is the best we can do. And good luck. And then I go home and hope it doesn't happen again. Luckily, it's been a little while. Like, I've had some theories as to what's been causing it, and Like, I've passed those theories on to the doctors, and they've done like the tests and the scans and the probes and the prods and all that sort of thing, and they just go, I don't think that's what it is. And then nothing happens. So far, it's like that one has not threatened to kill me, like the puking episode did, but the it still hurts like a bitch. Is the pain sharp? Oh, it is incredibly. It is like sharp and throbbing and hot and just like basically all the ways you can describe pain, and it just like radiates from that spot and basically just, yeah, like basically just, like I said, it gets to the point that it puts my body into shock if I don't get to it fast enough. Is it pulsing? It can do, mostly if I try to move while I'm feeling this pain. So I try not to move too much when the pain has hit. So that's a fun little medical mystery that no doctor has ever managed to find. So is it aligning with the heartbeat? I don't know. Luckily, it's been a little while since it's happened, so it's I feel like it mostly relates to movement. I don't think it correlates to the heart, or at least not that I've noticed. I'm usually in too much pain to care at that point. So I don't know. Maybe. I don't think so though. But yeah, it's it's not fun. And it's just like the amount of I've had it so many times, and it's like happened since I was a kid. Then there was a few years where it didn't happen. And then, like, basically once every 6 months. Cramps? I don't think so. It's mostly just pain more than anything. Well, that's not true. I get spasms, but that's, again, mostly if I try to move with the pain. It's not great. So that is the story of, well, one of the stories of how I nearly died. Again, not from the mystery pain one. That's just a pain in the ass. Not literally. No, not literally. I had to think about that. But it's the... Yes, that was one of them. I've also nearly drowned when I was a kid. That was fun. Completely grayscale. If you didn't have a color behind, I would not know this image is not black and white. That's interesting because my background is very blue. I shouldn't be grayscale, but that's good to know. Welcome to both of the new first-time chatters. We've just been talking about some near-death experiences. Nice sword, thank you. It's one of my favorites. I'm assuming it's that one, but it could also have been that one or that one. I've got a few around. It's a few different. I got a few different swords. My favorite doesn't live in this room because I keep it in my living room because it's quite nice and fancy. And well, to be fair, I tend to be sitting in front of it more often than not. So, but that one. That is one of my favorite ones. It is solid steel and very heavy. But kind of requires two hands to properly lift that one. There is not enough room in this room to swing it. I can guarantee that because I like my computer and I would prefer to not accidentally take it out, which is very, very possible. Because that is not fun. Broken sword. I do. That one was from. I think before that one. This is a Lord of the Rings tattoo. Kind of ties in with that tattoo. So, I got them a few years ago. So, yeah. I aim to get more, but I have to save up money. And as you can probably guess, I have a thing for impulse purchasing. Not so much for me, actually, now that I think of it. I impulse purchase for other people more than I impulse purchase for myself. So, it's not a great combination when it comes to trying to save money for tattoos. When I ask about the pain, but I have to ask a lot to come to any. Probably be because I'm not. Well, I mean, I wouldn't ridicule you for it. I'm okay with curiosity-based questions, and I like to talk, and streaming gives me a good opportunity to talk with an audience. Because if I wasn't streaming, I'd probably still be talking, but just without an audience. See you from Australia. I'm having New Year's suggest to come study it. You should do that then. I don't know. I'm probably not helping in that regard. We do get a lot of international students here, so it's quite possible that like if it's something that you want to do and it's something that you are able to do, like it's probably not a bad experience. I would have studied internationally if that was an option when I was studying, but I was not. Where I was studying was not necessarily in a place where that was an option to do so. I would have loved to do that. Do we have campuses? Probably. I haven't been studying at a campus for a little while, so I couldn't tell you where specifically, but I do know that there is a lot of places that do international sort of study and that sort of thing. So it's very possible that there'd be like some opportunities for that. Sometimes mystery paying around big nerve clusters might be because of imbalance to electrolytes. That's quite possible. It's very, I mean, yeah, possibly. Like I said, it's kind of, they've yet to find a successful, they've yet to find a conclusive answer for that, despite many tests. So I do not know. Don't make this in a university. No, that's all right. Last stream I was answering a bunch of questions about the various working places in Australia as well. So that is all good. Post-workout electrolyte drinks do wonders. Well, the first part of that I could do. The second part, probably not, because I don't necessarily know if I'm allergic to bananas, because I can eat things with bananas in them. But if I eat a raw banana, I will throw up. I don't know if that's an allergy, because I can still eat banana smoothies and banana ice cream and that sort of thing. But if I eat a fresh banana, it's coming straight back up. The first half of that suggestion I do like though. I do like my post-workout drinks. Should those be in the room? See many things I like. I'm glad you like it. It's a work in progress. I'm still looking to add more things, but it's Pedro Pascal. Yes, he's kind of tucked away in the back there. So it's I like my Pedro. I've had that picture for a few years, and I did used to stream in another room many moons ago. And he lived in there, and he was on the wall. And then I moved to this room because this room is slightly bigger. And unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, I have the pictures on the back of my wall, and I like those pictures because I made those pictures. But I also wanted to keep Pedro, so he lives in the corner now. He's still there. Banana smoothie and banana ice cream actually have nothing to do. Yeah, no, I figure that's why they don't make me throw up. Banana flavor is strangely not an actual banana flavor. I'd believe that. I think they should have given something less prone to accidentally giving a piece of clothing for delivering it. Yeah, probably not a bad idea. Wow, yeah, I mean, that's true. That's probably not something you accidentally give to someone. If you did, I'd be very curious about your lifestyle. Accidental enemas. Kind of sounds like a metal band, actually, now that I think of it. Have you heard the latest song from Accidental Enema? It is a banger. But yes, no, that is very true. But yes, there's a work in progress. I want to add more things in here. I'm just trying to figure out what, because I have a bunch of stuff. I'm new. Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm new in that this is the first time I've actually stuck to it. Because officially, according to my Twitch account, I've been streaming since 2023, I think. But that one, it's not exactly accurate because I would be back and forth in terms of streaming because I'd be on for 2 streams and then I'd lose attention for 6 months and then be oh crap, I was doing streaming. This time I'm sticking to it. This one I like I said, I've been trying to be consistent with on average about 2 streams a week due to my work schedule does not leave me a lot of time to do much of what I want. Root food, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you also. I appreciate you following as well, because like it all helps. Everyone helps in that regard. And funnily enough, so I did mention at the beginning of stream, but I have a bunch of follower goals, mostly for my own benefit, because it gives me incentive to keep wanting to like push forward. And now that I'm actually kind of starting to get some momentum, it helps kind of, I want to stream more because of it. And so I have had a couple of stream goals up to like, I have got up to like 500 followers, 1,000 followers. I don't really know. That's a while away. There's a long time between now and 1,000 followers. I'm not too fussed about that. But I've had a couple of stream goals so far. First one was at 20 followers, where I ate a lemon on stream. That was not overly fun, as you could imagine. The second one was for 50 followers, which I actually hit somewhere between this stream and my last stream. Evidently, a few people found me between then, and I appreciate them as well, even though they may not necessarily be here to see me say that. But that particular stream, so YouTube, thank you. Like I said, it helps to keep me motivated. And so for my 50 follower goal was, not sure if you're familiar with also the fact that this is going to be backwards. The Bean Boozled thing, they're basically like every flavor beans in that you can, any particular flavor could be something good or it could taste like garbage. And I had, like my follower goal is for every new follower from 50 followers to 100 followers, we get a bean. And I'm up to 54 followers now, so that's either 4 or 5. I haven't quite. I'm gonna say 5. I'm gonna say 5 because like at 50. Nice program, thank you. And so I've got a couple of them, and there are a couple of flavors, for example, that I'm probably not gonna like either way. Because some of these actually could be good, like this, peach flavor or tutti frutti flavor. They could be nice. Their alternatives are stinky socks or barf. Those are less good. But there is also the flavor of cappuccino or liver and onions. And I do not like anything coffee related. And I can't say I'm a huge fan of liver and onions either, but I don't think I've actually tried eating that. So that could go either way. I don't actually know on that one. We'll wait and see. But I've got a few of them, and I figure I would make a start on some of those and hope for the best. And we'll best cappuccino pronunciation I've ever heard from English speaker. Thank you. I don't know how I don't know how I said that. Now I don't know how I said it. Thank you. We have public urination next few accidental enema coming up soon. Coming up soon at a concert hall near you. Funnily enough, not related to accidental enema. Because I've actually got I'm actually going to a concert in about a week, which I'm actually super pumped with. Because I got my nails done. Well, they were getting a bit scuffed anyway, so I got some fresh done ones earlier in the week. Not related to accidental enema, as most things are. You'd hope so. You'd hope so. Nice nails, thank you. Yeah, they're freshly done because I've got a concert in a week, and I was just like, you know what? I want to look nice because I haven't been to a concert in like several years, and my fashion sense has discovered what anime is. Yep, that's why you don't want that accidentally. So I got my nails done, and my fashion sense has definitely changed since the last time I went to a concert. So I'm just kind of going with it. And I've also bought some contact lenses. I don't currently wear contact lenses, but like, not that you can really, there you go. So like these are my natural eye colors, but I wanted to get some contacts because I'm like, you know what? I want to go all out. I want to add something different. So I'm getting some contact lenses, and hopefully they'll be here before the actual concert so that I can give them time to like try them out, and hopefully I'll be able to have them for at least one of the streams between now and then, because there's probably 2 more streams between today and that concert, and I kind of want to see what they look like on camera. But obviously I can't until they arrive. But I'm very excited for them because it's been a while since I've worn contacts. The ones I bought are sclera contacts or semi-sclera contacts. I've never worn them. So this could be very interesting. And it's going to potentially look very odd, but like in a good way, I'm hoping. And so I'm going to take that with me to the concert. It's going to be great fun for me at least. And as long as the weather doesn't turn out to be shit, because like it's at an arena with like an open roof, that's not great if it starts raining, but hopefully that's not what happens. So hopefully it'll just be great weather. I can go down there, I can see this concert, I can have some fun, maybe even meet some people. I don't really know. Well, presumably we'd all share at least one interest in common. That would be the people that I am seeing. That would be, and which in this case is the K-pop band ATEEZ. That is ATEEZ. I've had a lot of people think I'm talking about like an 80s group, because like again it does sound similar, but no, it is a K-pop band called ATEEZ. And I only recently discovered that they were coming to Australia, and I just so happened to be in a mood to go and see a concert. So that timing worked out fantastically. So I'm going to see them. Wasn't really in my budget for it, but I was just like, fuck it. How often does this happen? Apparently my work does not block Twitch. Yay for office firewalls not being overly efficient. Be lurking in the background. All good. Thank you, King. Thank you for joining back in through your office's internet. So yes, I will be going to a concert, and I'm very excited, and I will be taking lots of footage. I've tried vlogging in the past. I don't think I have the discipline for it. I would say hi to Angel King, but you're obviously like you're at work, so I'd be confused if Angel is with you. For those unaware, the emote that has just popped up on screen is King's bird. We'll say hello when you get home. Very good. I'm glad. Thank you. And real pleasure to meet you. I must go study biology. See you soon. Hope to learn many new words like enema. I'm glad I could help increase your vocabulary with at least that one word. That's all good. You go do your study. That's probably important. I don't want to take you away from that, because that's probably more important than watching a random Australian streamer. But thank you for joining in. I appreciate you. I appreciate your visit. Thank you. And again, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that as well. I do have a schedule on my main thing. So if you are curious for like, I mean, either A, set your notifications so that you'll see we pop up, or B, just like check my schedule. I'm pretty sure it goes for the like time zones and whatnot. So, but yes, thank you for joining. And as I was saying before, I've set some follower goals for, well, my own motivation, because I'm just like seeing how far I can go with it. Ideally, I've already gone a lot further than I was expecting, because honestly, I was not expecting to even hit 10 followers, and now I'm at 50, which is very surprising, but in a good way. And because of that, the goal that I'd set for my 50 followers was these little jelly beans, the Bean Boozled range, which have a mix of good flavors and not good flavors. And for every new follower, between 50 followers and 100, I take a bean. I may also make that a redeem potentially later. I don't have the ability to do redeems at the moment because I'm not affiliate yet, but fingers crossed. This just takes a little bit of time, but I'll get there. I'm optimistic this time. Again, I was not expecting to even hit 10 followers, so the fact that I'm up to 50 is amazing. And so I'm optimistic because I have a lot of redeems I would like to make. And I've got a few emotes that I've made for whenever that happens. I've also made some some subscriber badges. I don't know why I stuttered over that so much. I don't normally have a stutter. I even made some subscriber badges. I don't need them yet because I'm not affiliate and no one can subscribe to me that I'm aware of. So kind of redundant, but at least I'm prepared. So we'll try a couple of these lovely beans. I'm hoping that I have more good flavors than bad flavors. It's we're about to find out, I suppose. What is my first? So also, I don't know if you can see, for those unfamiliar, they also have a little spinny thing, and that's how I'm choosing it at the moment. So my first spinny thing is a blue one, which apparently will either be berry or toothpaste. So this is for follower 50. Who is follower 50? 54, 53, 52, 51, 50. Oh, well, Salem Albanique, we are about to see if you taste like berries or toothpaste. We'll figure out how that goes. Oh, there you go, Salem. You taste like berries. I don't think Salem's here right now. Because I think she was one of the people who followed me whilst I was off. But thank you. And now it's stuck in my teeth. I'm going to be chewing on Salem for a while. I could have worded that better. Okay. Onto the next person. This is for follower 51. We have that landed in the middle between things. Let's try that again. We have what is this one? We have a green one, which is either juicy pear or boogers. See how we go. That is not pear. I don't actually know what boogers are supposed to taste like. Kind of tasted like I was licking a tree. I don't really know how that works, but so Molly Pod, apparently you taste like trees. Make of that what you will. Okay, now we have follower number 52. I've lost track already. That's not a great start. I've only got to count to 5. This one is, it's like a pink, which will either be pomegranate or old bandages. I don't know realistically what either of those taste like. That green one is lingering. I don't love that. I'd prefer the Salem berry. Oh, that's quite nice. What was that one? Pomegranate. Okay. I think. It's not a bad flavor. So that was Seiko. I'm going to say Seiko. That's probably better. Who apparently tastes like pomegranate. We have the Real Apocalypse, who... Oh, we get another green one. You're either going to taste like a tree or a pear. Because it says booger, but realistically it tastes like a tree. Don't ask me why I know what a tree tastes like. God damn it, it's the tree again. Ah. I'm sorry, Apocalypse, you also taste like trees. And for follower 54, our own recent follower of Zig, I know that they've gone to study now, but we are about to find out what you taste like, where I get either licorice or burnt rubber, neither of which are overly optimal flavors. Oh God, oh, that's burnt rubber. Okay, so I'm going to finish it because I have nowhere to spit it. Oh God, oh, that's terrible. Oh God. Okay. So I have seen some other streamers who have tried these ones. I thought you may have been exaggerating with the black jelly bean, because I know that there was at least one of the people that I was watching that spat it straight out again. I get it now. That was nasty. Oh, okay. For next time, I might need some. Well, no, I gotta stick it through. This is my own follower challenge, so I did this to myself. So I'm sorry, Zig. Your jelly bean tasted like burnt rubber. I'm sorry. Oh, that's nasty. Luckily, I have a hydration drink handy. It's marginally better. I'm still tasting burnt rubber. Okay, so the other flavors, like the bad is still like, it's okay but weird. So of the ones I have tried so far, so I've tried the juicy pear / booger. The booger actually just tastes like tree, like I'm licking tree bark or something like that. I have tried berry blue and toothpaste. I got berry. That was quite nice. I have also tried the pomegranate and old bandage. I'm assuming I got pomegranate because it did not taste bad. And yeah, the licorice and burnt rubber. I wasn't a huge fan of either of those because I'm not a big licorice fan. I was not expecting. That was a very visceral flavor. So yeah, that was. If I've got anyone currently watching who is not currently not currently following me, and you would like to see me potentially suffer, feel free to press that follow button because there's a 50% chance that I will be eating something not fun. I don't know why I've set half of my follower challenges to be food related and making myself suffer for food. I'm not honestly sure why I did that. It seemed like a fun thing to do when I was making that list. Because one of the other ones, I don't remember how far down it is just, I think I wrote eating something gross. It's vague, but it's also probably not inaccurate. I have eaten some gross things in my days. A couple of times just because I wanted to see if it was gross, and it was. So in that particular case, I was combining the Australian spread Vegemite with a bunch of different foods to go, hey, which of this stuff does Vegemite actually go with? I think I even filmed a YouTube video for it. I don't know if I ever released that video. I should look into that. I don't know if anyone would want to see that. but I made it. It's probably not like super high quality, but I made one. And out of those, I tried a few different combinations of things that Vegemite could go with. I tried it with some tuna. Surprisingly, Vegemite and tuna on a cracker actually taste quite nice. I'm assuming because tunas are already kind of salty, and Vegemite is a super salty spread. That's why it's always really funny when we see people like trying it for the first time and they're spreading it like peanut butter, and I'm just like, that is gonna burn on the way in. Do not do that. And so I've tried it with tuna. That one actually turned out well. I also tried it with some yogurt. That was not as good. That one did not go well. I don't think I got sick from it, but I did not enjoy that particular flavor. So if you ever feel like combining Vegemite with yogurt, don't do that. But if you have it handy, maybe chuck it with some tuna, because that actually kind of tasted all right. I would do that again, except for the fact that like the average Vegemite contains gluten, and I am, as of like about a year ago, severely allergic to gluten now. I didn't used to be, but I got very unwell at the beginning of last year, and shit just went downhill. That was not downhill, but anyway. But so I did. So I had a gluten intolerance before. That shot its way straight up to an allergy, and now I could nearly die if I eat gluten. It's great. I've had to cut so much fun stuff out of my diet. I miss most fast food. Most fast food contains gluten, unless I feel like having some fries. That is about it. Because most fast food places, like, if they've got buns, gluten. If they have like fried nuggets, the batter for that usually contains gluten, and so on. I don't want to have a salad everywhere I go. Salad and fries is not an overly exciting fast food menu. If I wanted salad and fries, I would just buy some and eat it at home. So, as you can see, I'm a little annoyed that I can't eat gluten anymore. Because if I'm let me put it this way. If I am lucky, when I eat gluten, I might just get stomach issues. That's the good outcome. If I don't get the good outcome, I could stop breathing or go blind or pass out. That one's almost happened once. The not breathing and the going blind part, they've happened a little bit more regularly before I knew that it was an allergy. And that's not a fun way to spend the day. So now I just avoid anything to do with gluten as much as I can. Luckily, I don't think I'm full like celiac, because like I don't think I have to risk like cross-contamination or anything like that if like it's prepared in the same kitchen as something with gluten. That seems to be fine, but it's just like if I actually consume gluten, that's when we have a problem. So we don't want that. So, because I've had enough trips to the hospital in my lifetime to not want to do it again if I could help it, because it's not fun. And most of the time when I go to the hospital, I don't get answers. I've had a lot of things going on, and very few of the times have they been able to give me anything more than a shrug. Except for like one time a couple of years ago where I had food poisoning and I nearly died from dehydration. I did cover that a little bit earlier in the stream. Either feel free to watch earlier in the VOD, or I can tell it again. If anyone missed it, I'm happy to tell it again. But yeah, I nearly died from dehydration, which is ironic because I've also nearly died from drowning. Unrelated. There was like a decade between those two things. I fell off a boat and I was very young and I sunk like a rock. It's fairly straightforward, that one. Now that I think of it, it's kind of an odd little dichotomy. On one hand, not enough water. On the other hand, too much water. And this is why I don't like going on boats. Kind can't imagine why. I have severe thalassophobia now. Thalassophobia, for those who are not aware, is a fear of the open ocean and what may be in it. Basically, if I can't see the bottom of where I'm swimming, I ain't going in it. Or even on it in a boat. Because, like, if I can't see the bottom, nah, not happening. Like, I will have an... Like, if you're aware of the game Subnautica, I'm sure a lot of people are. It was a very popular game when it came out, and it still kind of is. And I was borderline having an anxiety attack in the shallows of that game before you even really get exposed to anything overly dangerous, apart from a brief Reaper Leviathan encounter near your ship. But like, I was borderline having an anxiety attack from that. I'll potentially play it again. That is a stream goal, funnily enough, because I want to punish myself, apparently. And I have I've got some backups because my computer is a little bit old and it can play the game, but it may not be able to play and stream. So we have backups so that we can play something that will sufficiently freak me out to do with the ocean, but that my computer may have a better chance of handling. So everybody gets to see me freak out over being underwater. And it was a fun combination now that I think it. I used to have a VR headset. I don't think I do anymore. I think one of my exes took them. One of the games in that, you are in like one of those shark cages and you get released and you get dropped to the bottom of the ocean and you get found by sharks. You can imagine how my body was when playing that game. It was not an overly like hardcore game. Didn't have to be, because my brain was like, do not like. So I kind of want to get a VR headset again, but it's not quite in my budget. Again, because I want to get more tattoos. Like, I basically want to get this whole, like, I want to get a full sleeve, maybe even going up into the neck as well. That shit is expensive, and I spend too much money gifting things to other people. Because apparently I'm impulsive, but I'm generous. So, yay, I guess. Apparently that's a depression thing. I did not know that, but it does not surprise me. So, that was fun. So, I do... Actually, I don't know if I want to be a headset now, given that I just said what I just said about that. 90% of what I did with my VR headset was Beat Saber. For those who like are familiar with Beat Saber, it is a rhythm game. It can be quite a workout. Like, definitely, I've played a lot of, like, the higher you go on the difficulty, the faster it goes, the faster you have to go. So it's really good cardio. So it's got that going for it. But on the flip side of that, yeah, it gets real tiring real fast. So now I kind of want to play VR, but I haven't played it in so long. I would be spending the next 6 hours waiting for it to fucking update. And I think I've got like the Oculus, which to my knowledge goes through Meta. And I'm pretty sure the account that I had with Meta is now banned. I have an account currently. It is not the account that is connected to my Oculus. I don't know. I think they thought I was a bot. I'm not entirely sure why. Apparently, at the time that my account got banned, a whole bunch of other people's accounts got banned, and everyone was like, "Why did I just get banned?" I tried appealing it, was automatically denied. That's not a great start. So, that could be a problem because I have a bunch of games connected to that account, and if my account no longer exists, it basically makes it an expensive paperweight. That's really annoying now. Lame. Fucking Meta. Jesus. Their damn AI bot hunting bullshit. Targeting innocent people in the crossfire. Was not impressed. There was some people on that I had increasing hate for Meta. Yeah. I was also especially annoyed because through that particular Meta account, there was a lady that I had been dating. We were on and off. At that point, we were off when they did this whole AI purge. We were in the offset. We'd been on and off for 18 months. But most of our communication had been via Messenger, which is a Meta thing. And then Meta did this fucking bullshit with the AI purge. I got purged despite not being AI and basically lost access to that account and therefore the person that I had been talking to. So I was really annoyed by that. No Facebook Messenger, yeah. Although, I mean, I'm pretty sure they've shut that down now anyway, but that's not the point. The point was that I had an account and there was a person I only was able to get I was only able to talk to via that account. And then I lost that account and I have no way of contacting this person again because that account doesn't exist. I mean, my account that I was using for that communication no longer exists. So, oh, it's still a separate app. Okay. There you go. I didn't know that. Goes to show how much attention I've been paying to it. Yeah, so I am not thrilled with Meta, and I can say that because I'm on Twitch, which is an Amazon thing, not a Meta thing. We love Twitch. Twitch is great. Yay, Twitch. Don't use it? That's fair. That was basically the only thing that I used Messenger for was just that one person. Which is why I was really annoyed I wasn't able to get a different point of contact. Because I would like to, we got along, really well. We had good chemistry. Just our communication was not amazing. Well, I mean, that level. There was other communication was great, but that communication was not great. And possibly not helped by the fact we were communicating through Messenger. So that was a great combination. So King, I don't know if you saw earlier, as you may have been aware, I've got my follower goals. I actually had a little bit of a jump between this stream and the last stream, so that actually tipped me over 50 followers, which got me to my new goal, which is the Bean Boozled goal. So for every new follower I get, we get a bean. So far, it's been a mixed bag. So far, we've had a berry, which was quite nice. We've had one which was either meant to be juicy pear or booger. It tasted like tree bark, so I don't think it was meant. I think that was meant to be the booger one. And one which was licorice or burnt rubber. Beans, yep. I'm actually tempted to add that to a redeem list when I have access to redeems. And so, funnily enough, no, this one was actually from before I knew Pixie. But I have seen Pixie does have the bean redeem. So it's just a happy little coincidence. No, this one has been in my head since before I wanted to get back into streaming. But it was another streamer that we share in common, Miss Raven. She did I think it was a charity thing or a subathon challenge or something like that, and she had those, and I was like, oh, I think I can get those, and I kind of want to try that. This was again before I had planned to get back into streaming. I just kind of bought them because I was like, hey, I didn't know we had those here, and I do remember that when she did hers, there was a flavor, which I believe was the black jelly bean, which she had to spit out into the nearest box. And I just thought when I saw that, I mean, I know it's probably bad, but I didn't think it was going to be that bad. It was. Yeah, I got the burnt rubber one. It's a very visceral flavor. If I had something handy to spit it into, I would have, except this is also kind of like it's meant to be a challenge. That flavor was challenging. Granted, I'm not a huge fan of licorice either, but I would prefer that to, yeah, burnt rubber. Because I was like, that was pretty, like, reminiscent of burnt rubber, or the smell of burnt rubber. I can't say I've eaten burnt rubber. But I tried it. I may or may not make a clip of it later. There's a I love licorice has a real Dutch thing. Yeah, I mean, I think I've heard that too, actually. I like some licorice, very specific licorice. I'm not entirely sure which ones, but there are some licorice that I like. I'm not, it's generally just not like a big thing for me, at least. But yeah, I tried that one. That burnt rubber, it tasted like I was licking a melted tire. Again, I don't know, I've never actually licked a melted tire, but it tasted like what I imagined that tasted like. So, in hindsight, granted, Raven's probably not watching this, I apologize for doubting your taste buds on that one, Raven. I do not, that is one flavor I'm just like, ooh, don't love. So far it's, yeah, like the other bad flavor I had wasn't bad, it was kind of odd, which was, like, so it was meant to be boogers, but it just kind of tasted like I was licking a tree. I don't, again, don't ask why I know what licking a tree tastes like. I lived in the country for a while. And sometimes you just get bored and you're just like, what does this taste like? What does this feel like? I don't actually remember specifically if I've licked a tree, but I lived in the country for several years. I would be surprised if I did not lick at least one tree during that time. There was no one around to watch me. Social media wasn't a big thing back then. No one was recording me. They are recording me now, telling the world about this. But I'm a certified tree licker, apparently. But I don't think I have that set up just yet. I don't know. But it's... That's all right. There's other things in this stream that I will probably be clipping anyway. There was a couple of things from the jellybean session because I figured I'd catch up because I'm up to 54 followers, which, well, I got up to 53 between streams, and I got another from a person who followed in this stream, which was quite nice. So I basically did one after the other, and there's a few that I'm probably going to clip from there. How far am I towards my goals? That is a good question. That is a very good question, actually. Let me have a... I don't know if my microphone is in the way of my screen. There it is. What is my... Sorry, it's got to load some things. If it wants to let me load. Oh, that is not the one I want. I want this one. So, that is also not helping me. So, I've got 3 out of 4 affiliate goals at this rate. Follower goal 50 achieved, yes. So I've done that one, which is good. I think I may need to potentially reset that for the next one. At the moment, it's mostly just the average viewer one. So for a minimum of 3 average viewers on 4 different days, I'm currently sitting on 1 at the moment. Like I said, it's mostly a matter of time. I feel like each stream that I've been doing, I've been getting a little bit more interactivity from the chat, essentially. So I feel like that is a promising sign. So like I've said, it's just a matter of time. I'm optimistic about that. So, and annoyingly, for me at least, like a big part of that may or may not be. I mean, possibly. I'm not going to complain about you being in Chat King. I appreciate you being here, and but I forgot where I was going with that. That's all good. So I will keep going, and it'll keep happening. I'm optimistic about that, and you know, each day has its pros and cons, and so far I've only had to ban a couple of people, which is nice. Well, outright banned one person on like my third stream in, because he was just being a transphobic ass who told me to kill myself. So I was just like, okay, we don't need that. And there was that one. I technically timed out that one. I didn't actually ban that one because I was just like, I'll give them a chance if they want to come back. Because they were a bit odd, but they weren't necessarily. I was willing to give them a second chance, so I just kind of timed them out. But they have not returned. No, they haven't. That's all right. I did find it quite funny when they were just like, your mods don't like me, and I'm like, I don't have a mod. What are you talking about? That was kind of funny a little bit. I have a feeling that they were legitimately just a little bit drunk potentially. So that's what I mean. That's why I was willing to like give them a second chance, because you know, if they came back on a time where they were not, because kind of the only thing that I really remember from that conversation was them talking about the US hockey team and the win from that one. And like, I'm happy to talk about that. I don't know anything about it, but I'm not a big sports person, as you can probably guess from all of this. I will like try and be involved in a conversation where I can, but I'm not going to be a lot of amazing input into the conversation. Like outside of, I don't know if you are familiar with the UK sitcom IT Crowd. So basically outside of just like do you see that ludicrous display last night? That's about the limit of what I can do with with sports, just in general. Like, I have nothing against people who want to talk about sports. I just probably don't have a lot of input in that one. And that's why whenever I see sports come up in chat, I'm just like, fill me in, because I know nothing. So, like, I definitely have a lot of appreciation for the amount of effort that a lot of those sports people put in to do what they can do. And basically the main thing that I have taken from this Olympics was US hockey did good. Women's figure skating, ice skating was also good. Apparently, I've seen a lot of that. And Australia picked up a weird amount of medals, because no one expects Australia, being the country that we are, to do well in winter. Which is, I mean, that's a fair assumption. So, but that is about the limit of my Olympics knowledge. Until people started talking about it online, I didn't even know the Winter Olympics were here. We do get winters, but they're generally not like as intense as like a European winter or a North American winter, for example. Like, we get snow, but in a lot less places. And so I kind of want to get back into ice skating now that I think of it. But again, there's not a lot of places I can practice that. On the plus side, apparently I have some innate skill towards that African country with bobsledding team started. I said, well, that's true. That is very true. Because yeah, apparently, so every like winter, a lot of the places around where I live, they do like winter festivals, and a lot of them will have like, excuse me, have like ice skating rinks and that sort of thing. And when they first started, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be any good at that. Apparently, the fact that I used to rollerblade a lot when I was a child, that kind of, thank you, I appreciate that. But apparently, the fact that I used to rollerblade a lot when I was a kid, they share a very similar skill set to ice skating. Not exactly the same, but like fairly close with like the fact that I was able to maintain balance and keep moving forward without falling, basically on the first go. So that was a learning experience. I was with someone at the time. They did not rollerblade when they grew up. They had also not ice skated before. There was a lot of falling down. But we had fun. Well, I think I had more fun. They were falling down a lot, and I was helping them from being fallen over a lot. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I liked it. I would do it again, but apparently they're not doing it like that anymore. It's really annoying. Hence why I was like, I want to do more ice skating, but there's nowhere to do it for like 90% of the year. So that's not great. And oh yeah, I don't know if you were here when I said this earlier, King. So as you're probably aware, I had the luck I lived close to an ice rink. My dad was that helps. Yeah, that is a very fortunate situation. So as you're aware, I'm going to a concert next week. I've been very open about that fact in most of the chats that I've been in. So I got my nails done, so they're all nice and fresh because they were getting a little bit scuffed. But I've also bought some contacts because like these are my natural eye color. This is my natural eye. It's like a blue-green kind of color. And I've also so I bought some. They're like semi-sclera ones because I was like, you know what? I want to go something fancy for this concert. And I haven't been to a concert in years. My style has definitely changed. So I'm like, you know what? I want to see if I can pull off sclera contacts. And they are hopefully going to be here next week. I'm very excited for them because it's I want to see if it's a look I can pull off. We're about to find out. They weren't super expensive and they are not prescription lenses by any means, which is good because, well, I probably wouldn't need them to be prescription lenses for what I need them for. It'll help me hope, thank you. Fingers crossed, I paid for express postage and I bought them yesterday. So I don't live overly close to where they're coming from, but express post is hopefully better than nothing. Could I skate before you could walk was 2 when you first went on ice. That's cool. I don't actually remember how old I was when I either skated or ice skated. I think it wasn't until I was in my like 20s before I ice skated, but I was like rollerblading since I was like 9. So I think that helped a little bit because I was already used to standing on like narrow platforms, and that definitely helps with the whole balance issue. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I want to do that again. I want to do that more. I'm never going to have the same level of skill as like an Olympic ice skater, but sometimes it's just fun to go around in circles. That may be the autism talking, potentially. And it was kind of funny. I posted a reel recently. I mentioned autism in that one. That was very divisive. I mean, it shouldn't be, but it was YouTube. YouTube is always divisive about anything. And it was just like, because I was talking about the fact that when I was younger, I don't remember how young enough, I just for fun decided to read the dictionary. And I read through that because it seemed like the thing to do. And it was kind of a case of my logic was, if I knew more words, then that would surely help me communicate better with more people. It didn't. People just thought I was know-it-all. I later discovered I was autistic, much later in life. And I was like, that may be connected, potentially. And after you've read the dictionary, every book becomes a remix. Exactly. That is exactly right. I stole this. That is probably why as well I enjoyed the Silmarillion by Tolkien, which is like the lore book of Lord of the Rings, essentially, because there are so many words in there that are not in the dictionary. So it's just like, oh, this is like new words. Also, the elementary school confirm it might have to do something with autism. Potentially. I had one person just say, oh, everybody did that when they were a child. And I was just like, are you sure about that? I don't think every child read the dictionary. That doesn't seem like an everything sort of thing to do. And then another person who was just like, oh, all this bloody neurodivergence was just like, it's like you're just being quirky. Not everything is autism. And I was just like, okay. You've read far too much into this situation. I was making a funny little anecdote, and this guy's decided to psychoanalyze that little anecdote. So they seemed like fun. I just kind of left that one hanging. And as is very common for me, basically anything I post is going to have some sort of trans comment on it. Like, I don't really post anything and tag it as trans related. I usually post it relating to whatever the subject matter is, funnily enough. But every post that I do on at least one platform will get people going and asking questions like, are you trans? Are you a man? Are you a woman? What are you? Was that a way you also had other platforms? Kind of. When I say other platforms, it's mostly like, I have Instagram, but that's Instagram. And I have a YouTube. I technically have two YouTubes. One which I like save the VODs for this on, and another one which I post clips, and on the rare occasion that I make like actual videos. It's been a little while since I've made an actual video, but I did post, yeah, there's because like, again, this is something I've like, no, I am a Wendy's. That's right. I am Brick. Yeah. So I just, yeah, there's a lot of that, and I'm just like, it's not really relevant to the conversation now, is it? And yeah, so it's just like, we're talking about autism and dictionaries. What does the fact that I'm technically trans have anything to do with this conversation? But anyway, there's always going to be a weird one. There is always going to be a weird one. Which is why, at least on my Instagram post, I got a friendly little comment from Pixie Gloom, and I was like, that balances it out. Because I was like, you know what? I got a laugh out of that comment. That balances out some of these weird ones. Granted, more of the weird ones were on YouTube than Instagram, which is weird to say because like I've always had a weird mix of audiences between those. Because after a certain point, because that particular video did all right. Pixie always lights the mood. She really does. And yeah, like after a clip hits a certain level, it kind of starts going out of the circles that it's started in. And that's when things get interesting on YouTube and Instagram. So I just come to expect that. Like, I've had death threats on YouTube. I've had death threats here. I've had death threats in real life. What can you do? Well, the ones here, at least I could ban them. So, and I know that at least in the various communities that I am part of, that sort of shit wouldn't fly anyway. So that's good. Which I was saying with Ray as well. Exactly. Yeah, that's just like what I was saying. Like that shit don't fly in that sort of so like because yeah, like if someone is being a an asshole, it doesn't fly here, doesn't fly there, and as we saw with Ray, like someone will find issue with something. Some people apparently had issues with the fact that I joked about having autism as a child. I was undiagnosed, but in hindsight, it was autism. And others just don't like the fact that I exist. Sucks to be them. It's unfortunate that that is taking up enough of their mental brain space that my existence stresses them out. So I can't help them with that. They're just going to have to deal with their own issues. A little bit. So, random fun fact, actually. This is just because you mentioned koalas in that comment there. It's not related to anything that we were just talking about there. So it's a semi-common fact that koalas, a lot of them are known to contain some sort of strain of chlamydia. It's I don't know. It was a very common thing. I'm not 100% sure why. But apparently, as of like last year, there's been great efforts made to and there's been a great reduction in the chlamydia aspect of the koala population. So hooray for koalas and their reduced STDs. I just like to share that fact. I also shared that, funnily enough, with Raven and Crow at MCM last year because I gave them a little plushie of a koala because I'm Australian and how often do they meet up with Australian people? And I was like, this I can bring. I couldn't really bring food because most Australian foods contain, like most of the ones that are associated with Australia contain gluten. And, well, that could kill at least one of them, potentially, or make them have a very bad time. And I didn't really want to do that. Also, because of the fact that I also have a severe reaction to gluten. So I was just like, I don't really want to travel with that either. But anyway, so I brought them a koala plushie. And that koala plushie, just whilst I was there, I decided to share that little fun fact as well, because they were also aware of the whole, chlamydia story. And I was just like, hey, guess what? It's getting better. Australia is known as most strict on import-export. They sure are. Unless it is in a sealed container, basically any kind of food is highly frowned upon. Think that plush is on the couch next to the Lucario. I would imagine it's in there somewhere. A lot of the time I'm watching on phone because it's usually when I'm getting ready for work in the morning. So it's a very little screen that I'm seeing. So I don't get the most detail on the plushy couch other than Lucario and a couple of other ones, which I can't think of at the moment. Whole series in this trend. Oh, there is. Border security shows very popular. It is really funny seeing the amount of people that bring in stuff and they're just like, you can't bring this. And it's like, what? I can't bring in my 3 heads of lettuce and my $10,000 in cash? What do you mean? And it's just like, and I'm just like, how did you think this was going to go? Pixie has so many plushies. I am hoping to one day, I have like 5 plushies, realistically. I'm not batching either of them anytime soon. Bits, Coral Stars, Alice. Oh yeah, they've like, I have swords. That is true. I have a lot of swords. I have a bit of a mix. I've got swords, I've got plushies, and I've got a couple of figures in there as well. But so there's a little thing, which I don't know how common it is in other places. A variety. I do have a variety. And I am a variety streamer. So that works well. But when entering the Australian airspace, essentially, you get given a little form that you have to declare to customs, basically with a list of things that you aren't really meant to be bringing into the country, and if you declare it, they will take it, but you won't generally get in trouble, depending on what it is, obviously. If you don't declare it and you're found with it, you get in a lot more trouble. And there was one part of that form from when I was coming back into the country I was not a huge fan of, because they combined a few different things into one checkbox. And I don't know how comfortable I felt ticking that box, because they really should have separated these. So, like, obviously there was things like, do you have any raw food? Do you have any, like, farming equipment? And then there was the box that I had to tick, which was, do you have any illegal firearms, medications, or illegal pornography? And I was just like, those are three very different things. I have medication. I have to travel with medication. Otherwise, not in the great state if I don't take the medication. But I don't love that I also had to tick the box which technically said I could have also potentially had illegal firearms or illegal pornography. Luckily, when I got into the country, the guy that saw the declaration form, he saw the one that I ticked, and he was just like, "It's medication." And I was like, "It's medication." And he went, "Okay, cool. You're right. Off you go." Like, he didn't verify that, but I appreciated the fact that he took my word when I legitimately said, "Oh, I just have medication." He was just, because I'm sure he's probably had that question a lot from people that were probably a little bit more suspicious than I might have been about it. But just like, he's probably seen the same look on my face that other people have had when he's seen the box I've ticked, and he's just gone, it's just medication, isn't it? I was like, it is just medication. It was like, okay, cool. You go that way. Misread the thing for Japan. Checked the box for medicines, prescription, ticked my asthma, but they meant things like, yeah, that was also why I was confused, because I was not 100% sure whether, like, the stuff that whether it was all medication or if it was just a certain level of medication. But I was just like, well, they are all prescription, so they're fine, and I don't have an overabundance of having them, because I basically just took enough to get me through the trip and back. But I was like, I should probably tick it just in case, because it's probably safer that I have that, and like, if they decided to do a random check on the other end and go, "Oh, you didn't tick the box, that's a fine." I don't know how that works. I don't know if that's how it works. I've only been on that level of overseas trip once. I've been to New Zealand. That was very fun. But they're technically like a joined country with us. Like, I don't even think I technically need a passport for New Zealand. Oh, no, that's not. I do need a passport. I didn't need a visa, because, like, we're technically in the same grouping. It'd be like traveling from Wales to England, essentially, because you're technically crossing into a different country, but at the same time, that country is kind of connected to that country. So it's so I didn't necessarily have to worry too much about getting in trouble for any of that, which is good, because the UK is a bit weird. It is. Oh, and that was also fun when I was in England. I think I've told this story long ago, because like this happened in October of last year. I was going through the airport. I was going through Heathrow. They were doing the X-rays. They were doing the bag scans and that sort of thing. My bag got sent to isolation, didn't it? And I was like, that's odd. I like quadruple checked that bag before I packed to make sure that there was nothing that broke any rules in that bag. Why has it been sent into isolation? Not even just for like a manual check or anything like that. They were just like, nope, that's going straight in the X-ray and scanning machine. So I just kind of had to stand awkwardly to the side while they were just like trying to use their little X-ray scannies to go and figure out what was going on in my bag. And instead of just like, because like they did ask me, oh, do you know what's in your bag? And I was like, yeah, I've got this, 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 and this. And they're like, okay, cool, yep. And then they went back to their little scanny thing, and then they proceeded to do that for like another 10 minutes whilst I was waiting to go to my plane. And eventually, the guy who does the manual checks, who was in a different area to the people doing the X-ray checks, went and spoke to them and said, hey, why don't we just do a manual check and see what it is your X-ray is showing up? And I was like, yes, let's do that, because I'm curious as to what you seem to think is breaking a rule. They opened it up, and it turned out that, so I have, funnily enough, I have it here. So I have this. This is a camera mic for a DSLR camera. Now, apparently, the fact that it has a battery built into that, combined with the squishy nature of the microphone, apparently that confused their sensors a little bit and sent them into a little bit of an alert. And I was like, it's a microphone. Surely you've seen one of these before. So like after all of this big scanning hullabaloo with them going, oh, I don't know what this is. This looks suspicious. Is this suspicious? I don't know about that. And it took the guy who did the manual checks to just go, hey, maybe we should see what it is, before they actually opened it and were like, oh, it's a microphone. Okay, cool. And I was just like, you couldn't have done this 10 minutes ago. Did it think it was C4? I honestly don't know. It might have done. Like I said, it picked up the energy from the batteries. And like, I think that was confusing the sensors a little bit. Cause like there was other things with batteries in that bag, and they didn't get picked up. Hello, welcome in, Corbin. Good to see you. We've just been talking about some somewhat annoying airport experiences, and that apparently the sensors at the Heathrow London airport will detect this DSLR microphone for a suspicious package, and send it into isolation. That was fun. How are you doing, Corbin? Have you been good? It's been a little while. So it's been a that was a little while ago. I do want to go overseas again. I'm hoping the next time to play hot. It is. Luckily today is not too crazy where I live. It's still warm, but my computer is not melting. So that is always I take that as a positive sign that if my computer's not melting, or if it doesn't sound like it's going to take off when I try to play a game, then we're good. It's like 28. Yeah, that is kind of warm. I think it's like 23 for me. So it's kind of warm, but it's manageably warm. I am looking forward to winter though. I've always been more of a winter person because I like layering. And a lot more of my wardrobe is catered around layering than it is around summer. So I'm kind of glad that at least for today, like I'm curious as to what my weather is meant to be like. So I had to tie my hair on today. So I suppose I did have to do that as well. Like at my job, like I had to do a bit of stuff here. I had to do a bit of moving around at my work, and I was just like, no, I'm like, this is all going up because I do not want the sweat to get caught up all up in that. And I had to tie that all back because I was just like, I am not dealing with that. That is a sensory nightmare, having sweaty hair on my face and my neck. With currently 12 Celsius and raining slightly. That sounds fantastic. I don't know if you're saying that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that is weather conditions that I could go for very well. That is a lovely day for me, because that is like a nice jumper, maybe a light jacket, Like that level of temperature. Don't mind a little bit of rain. Just get an umbrella, a bit of raincoat. We're all good. Granted, I would probably find an excuse to stay inside because that's what I do. Got to go now. Got to get ready. Go partying. Oh, have fun. I suppose it is Friday night, so that is the time for it. Have fun. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate that. But have fun with your partying. Funnily enough, I was debating a little bit with my stream for tonight because I was kind of waiting to see, because one of my neighbors was playing quite loud music, and I'm kind of glad that they stopped their loud music at a reasonable time, because it meant I did not have to compete with that. Like, I think my noise gate might stop some of it, or like the noise gate on the microphone. So that would stop some of it. I think it might still get picked up though, which is not great. So luckily that they turned that off. What is my local time? It has just hit 10 p.m. on Friday night. So some people are out partying. I am streaming on Twitch to my own little party. Just turned 12 o'clock. Oh, nice. So it's lunchtime. I'm in the future. And it's it has its pros and its cons. We are our own party, damn right. So I am happy with that. I debated playing games, but I've just been talking. That's why I specifically that's why I made a point of not putting games in my title this stream, because the last couple of streams where I've said I was going to play a game, I just talked and games did not happen. Although I did play a little bit in my last stream, but that was like a mini stream and it was like 45 minutes of Bayonetta, and that was fun. I enjoyed that. But apparently, it loaded the default subtitles as Japanese. I don't read Japanese, and apparently once I'm in the game, I couldn't change the settings for it. So I just had to go with it. That was just to keep streams mount up. Well, I mean, it was more just because I had to, I wanted to stream, basically. I was just like, I was missing doing a stream, and I was like, I mean, it was short because I had the headache, but I ended up streaming because I was just like, I really want to stream. I feel like I'm missing out on doing this, and it ended up being a shorter stream anyway, but I was like, I'd had to skip the stream beforehand for technical reasons. And I was just like, I was like, oh, I'm jonesing for a stream, and I was like, I may feel like crap, but I want to at least try and keep to my schedule, which is like my Mondays. So I was like, I don't want to keep skipping too many if I can avoid it. Also forgot how long we go for. That is a good question. I think it was somewhere between an hour and a half and 2 hours. So it wasn't like a long stream, but it was definitely on the shorter end for what I do, because I average 2 to 3 hours in general, and like that works for me in general. Like, unless I'm getting like super locked into a game, which might happen. If I can find a game that I can stay locked into without completely isolating people in chat, it's a very fine line, because I kind of have to pay attention to the game and keep that entertaining, but also see what's going in chat so I'm not just ignoring people. Because if I lock in too much to one, I'm going to forget how to do the other. And that doesn't make for a great stream. I like to try and keep everybody engaged where I can. And sometimes that's, easier to do than others. Would not mind a locked in gaming stream. Fair enough. Like I said, I've just got to find a game that I want to get locked into. I have so many games that I could play. there's also a lot of games that I'm already like halfway through. I was just looking through my Steam just then at like what I've currently got installed. Like I've got Cult of the Lamb. I've basically finished that game. I've got about 50 hours in that at the moment. Just started Bayonetta. I've got Quarantine Zone, but unfortunately I can't play that on stream because the last time I tried to play it on stream, it basically turned to a slideshow because that's one of those games where my computer can run it or the stream, not both. So Quarantine Zone is an offline game. I've got date everything, but I'm already like 2/3 of the way through that game. So I feel like I would have to start again, and then like the first time experiences have already happened. And it's also why I'm personally keeping my Steam library at the most minimum possible. That's not a bad idea. I have a lot of options, and I have too many games and not enough time to actually decide to play one of those games. And I recently purchased Civilization 6 and added that to my collection. That's kind of a dangerous move because I've always known that Civilization is one of those just one more turn games. And those turns are not short. And I can't afford to be losing nights. I need to sleep at some point. And I know that Civilization is one of those sorts of games. And I also know, like, I got it on a good... it was regularly on sale as well. And I was just like, you know what? It's on sale now. It's like... It spent most of its time at like 90% off for some reason. So eventually I was just like, fuck it, I'll buy it. I'll add it to my collection so at least now it's there. And yeah, so this it's definitely one of those games that you can lose yourself in. And so I feel like that one would probably not be great for stream for that reason, because I'd probably get lost in it. I've got No, I'm Not a Human. I've done at least one playthrough of that game, and I died. I got one of the bad endings. I've got Mass Effect. I still want to play that one, but I keep distracting myself. Recent happenings slightly bloom for me. Skylines. I'm very aware of your Skylines escapades and how that's yeah, that sounds like what would happen if I started playing Civ 6 or if I got back into The Sims. Be very easy for me to just get lost into those. Subway Fish, not surprised about that one. Station to Station, I'm not familiar with. Little Nightmares games I know of, but I've not actually played. But I know of them. I've heard that they're good. That other one, Crow recently played by the... Oh yes, no, I do know that one. That one did look good. Oh, Station to Station from the same devs as the other one. That makes sense. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Cult of the Lamb in my downtime. I could be doing so many other things, but instead I play Cult of the Lamb. Like I have so many games that I keep adding to my collection. I'm just like, oh, I should play that. But no, Cult of the Lamb. It's one of those. That's also kind of one of those just one more turn games. Except in this case, it's just one more crusade or one more day, and now I'm kind of just achievement hunting a little bit because like it's a good game. Like it's not an overly complicated game, and I think that is part of the reason why I can just like jump into it for like 20 minutes at a time and then kind of go about my day. Like I said, it's like just come in, do a quick crusade, come back out again. And like I do have goals in that game. Like I said, I'm still trying to do some achievements on them, but some of those achievements are made harder due to the fact that they were made when the game was smaller. And so like in Cult of the Lamb, you have like achievements for collecting all the follower skins, for collecting all the outfits, collecting all of the, what else is there? All the tarot cards. And that's all well and good, except when the game came out, that collection was a lot smaller to reach. Now, the collection for all of those is like 3 or 4 times larger to get that same achievement. So it's going to take a while to catch up on those. Several franchise series and smothering others. Yeah, it gets a bit that way. And there's a bunch of games as well. They're on like the Game Pass, and they're just like I'm actually surprised I haven't been bugged by the cat yet. Because that was cat hair that was flying around. It just occurred to me, she has not bugged me this entire stream. That's very odd. But actually, I'm going to try something. Because as I had mentioned in a previous stream, one of the redeems that I'm planning to make when I get the ability to make redeems is for cat treats. So that like when the redeem is activated, we give the cat a treat, and hopefully that gets her into the line of the camera. Now, at the time, I did not have anything handy, but today I planned ahead. I have cat treats. It still is odd that I have them in my stream room desk, but I'm hoping if she hears this treats, exactly. No treats for you, treats for the cat. I mean, you can have some, but I don't know if these are safe for human consumption. But no treats for you, just the cat. Wow, she must be dead to the world. Because normally, if she hears treats from one, like she'll come running from the other side of the house. I think it's because she's hearing treats from this end of the house and she's not used to it. Okay, I have treats. I just need to get her acclimated to the idea that they're in my room now. That might be an off-screen training session. The Age of Empires franchise, I loved that series. I played so much Age of Empires when I was in high school. A lot more than I probably should. I probably should have been like learning for them, but that was their fault for having computers that were not like locked off from having games installed on them. If they didn't want us playing games on computers, they should have made it harder to install games on the computers at the school. Think I can try? I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that once she realizes I have treats up here as well, that she'll start listening out more. I've never actually played Roller Coaster Tycoon. I've heard it's good. I've never actually played it though. Have the whole franchise? Yeah, I played a lot of, I think probably the Age of Empires 2 and Age of Mythologies. Do I have either of those games? Oh, I don't have it on that. I'm gonna have a quick look and see if it's on Game Pass. I feel like I've seen something on Game Pass. Have the mythology ones? Yeah, I liked the mythology ones. I don't remember how far I got into them. Getting cold? No, that's right. Do what you got to do. I'm gonna have a quick look and see if I do actually have any of these Age games. Age of Mythology or Empires. Oh, nice. Age of Empires 2 is on Game Pass. I know what I'll be installing after stream. The 20th Anniversary Edition. Oh, I don't like that. Why did you have to say that, you fucking description? I did not need to know that that game was 20 years old. Rude. Welcome back, Sven. We've just been talking about games, funnily enough, and the fact that while I'm probably not playing them, I have too many of them. Well, most recently we've been talking about the Age of Empires series and the spin-off Age of Mythologies, and the fact that I'm probably going to be installing Age of Empires after stream because I did not realize that it was on Game Pass, and I have Game Pass, and I played so much Age of Empires in high school, and mostly Age of Empires 2 and Age of Mythologies. Yeah, I played, so it was one of those games where we should have been probably studying, But at the same time, we had access to the school computers, and the school computers at that point in time were not firewalled from installing games. So there was basically like a free copy of Age of Empires on the school network if you knew where to find it. So Epic Games give free games every week. I do. My for some reason my Epic Games has been weird for the last, like, I basically would have to, I gotta like reinstall the full thing from that one because it was doing well, and then for some reason it locked, like my computer won't load it, so I gotta like properly, I gotta like reinstall that whole thing. It's really annoying because like I do have Epic Games and I've downloaded a few games from that. Actually, I'll do that later. I was going to say, I've got a few games installed that went through the Epic Game before my Epic Games launchers started fucking around. One of which, oh, that is not the button I wanted to press. Apologies if you're hearing that. I accidentally entered Steam Big Picture mode. That is not what I wanted to do at all. Can I get out of that? Okay, well, I'll have to fix that later as well. Lucky me. But yes, I'm pretty sure I have currently installed from the Epic Games I'm pretty sure I've got a copy of Cyberpunk 2077 that I'm pretty sure is installed via Epic Games. Doki Doki Literature Club, which I installed, I think that might have been one of the free games that I got from that one. And Infinity Nikki, because that was, I don't know, I think I got like it was either a good deal or it was free. Infinity Nikki is like it's a dress up gacha game, but it was really popular when it came out. Apparently it's like a series. I didn't know that. So but it was there's a bunch of games that I have installed via Epic, but for some reason my Epic launcher doesn't actually like loading the launcher itself, so I'm gonna have to reinstall that and hopefully not have to reinstall everything else. That would be really handy. So I don't recall how much you may have missed, Sven, but I had, so I may have mentioned earlier, I hit 50 followers between streams, which was one of my follower goals. That follower goal was the Bean Boozled Challenge. That is the beans that have either good flavors or bad flavors, but they look exactly the same. That's congrats, thank you. I was not expecting that. I was under 50 at my last stream, and then when I came back in today, I was on like 53, and I'm not complaining. I'm pretty sure I know where it came from. I feel like it might have come from one of Pixie's streams. I think she may have shouted me out on that, which was appreciated. I was not expecting that. But anyway, I had I've had this challenge, and with this challenge, every new follow from 50 followers to 100, I think followers, those beans taste like farts. They can potentially. They either taste good or bad, but they look the same. So you don't know until you actually eat them. And because I had 5 new followers, because I got a 54th person in today's stream, I was catching up, and I did sort of 5 beans. Some of them were better than others. I'm probably going to make a couple of clips from that section. Because there was one, it tastes either like licorice or burnt rubber. I got the burnt rubber. Somehow it's a very accurate flavor. If I had something to spit it into, I probably would have, but I was like, no, this is a challenge for like myself. I did this intentionally. I'm just gonna have to deal with that. Now, I have a certain someone, she's meowing at me. It could be because she's hungry, because I have not fed her. This is Mika, aka Idiot, or Monkey, or a variety of other names. Car indeed. Now, I'm wondering, this might actually be a good opportunity, because I am trying to train her into coming on command because so these are cat treats. I know in the UK this brand is known as Dreamies, but for some reason in Australia they're called Temptations. But I'm hoping once I have access to redeems, that cat treats will be one of those redeems. And normally, if she hears the crinkling of this, as you can kind of see, she is very enthused by the idea of treats. So I'm hoping that once she comes to know that I have treats at my desk, she will be more likely to visit the stream whilst I am streaming. So I'm hoping if I have my hand, because my hand still smells like treats, then yeah. And I was actually waiting for her to come up to the stream because I had not... Okay, now you're just blocking the stream. So I'd been waiting for her to come up so I could test this, and now you can't see me past the cat. There we go. To redeem that. That actually sounds like a good idea. She just bit my finger because it tasted like treats. So I'm hoping that if I get her used to the idea of there being treats in my room, that she'll be more likely to visit the stream whilst I'm streaming, therefore making it a lot easier for me to use that redeem as well as the other potential redeem, which is just like, cat cam. I haven't set up the cat cam at the moment. So she's excited now because she's like, I've got treats. Because the other camera, if I can get to my stream deck, is this one. I have not got a set angle for it yet. This is just a second camera that I bought long ago when I did like some puzzle streams. And so yeah, do you want to come to a different angle on the thing? What do you want to do? Hi. What are you doing? Hi. So I'll need to figure out a better angle for this one, but if I can get her to come on to stream more often, that would make things a lot easier and I think a lot more enjoyable for any potential visitors, because who doesn't love cat? Yeah, look at you. Look at you. So I'm thinking she's here to tell me that I need to hurry up and feed her because her dinner is running late, and of course we can't be having that now, can we? So depending on how long I stream for, like I average 2 to 3 hours most times, just depending on if it requires fuel. It does require fuel. Return, you have returned indeed. I've started the training. The training I mentioned earlier has started. Now that she decided to visit, I have given her some treats and gotten into her head, hopefully, the fact that Stream Room has treats. So when she comes in, or when I set up redeems for it, she might actually come up and visit, which would be great. Granted, I don't love the fact that she only wants to see me because I have food, or because she wants food, but she is also a cat. That is a very big motivator for them. So, food motivated? Absolutely. So she is... So I think I'll give her one more treat, technically. So I probably shouldn't be giving her more, but like I said, I'm trying to get her also food motivated. Yeah, I kind of am a little bit as well. Depends on what I'm trying to do and what kind of food they're using. So with there you go. So I'm hoping that, as you can see, she's a big fan of she is a big fan, and so yes, hopefully the fact that I've just given her some treats, I haven't given her treats in a little while as well, so she's probably like, oh shit, there's treats. It's a good thing. Like, I also have liquid treats, like little liquid food sticks. I'm not going to use those because she goes fucking insane for them. She yells at me for those things. Like if she thinks I'm even in the vicinity of the bag that those things are stored in, she is yelling at me to get those treats. So the dry food treats, they're a little bit more, she's a little bit more manageable with that. She still gets excited, but she's less loud about it. Where the liquid ones, I'm like, you would not hear me over her yelling for this damn liquid treat. One of the cat's just crazy, so she yells at me for fun. This one kind of does that. She's luckily not too bad when it comes to the yelling. She does it more these days. But I think she's also got brain damage, because I don't know if you saw earlier, she's got a little bit of a scratch on the side of her head there. There is a neighbor cat that likes to walk past our house, and in an effort to defend our house, she tries to pounce at said cat, except there is usually a window in the way. She has not learned that that window does not move. So I would not be surprised if she's lost a few of the brain cells that she has in there from those. The foil. Oh, I forgot about the foil. I do need to do that. I need to try it. I will need to actually. The scratches from a bonk. Yeah, unfortunately, I think she may have like headbutted the edge of a window with that one, and every time it gets close to healing, she sees this other cat, and then she just jumps at the window again. And while she may not necessarily keep scratching it, she doesn't let it heal. And I've tried to get the two cats to like each other. I think the other cat is cool with it, but my cat is very defensive of her territory. The other cat does not care. Like there's been times where my cat has been sitting in pounce mode at the back window of my house, and this other cat's just chilling on its back, just like, oh, this sun is so good. I'm wondering if I have a photo of that, that ideally is not doxing of me. It should be fine. That is not me. That is not my cat. That is not my cat. Where is this fucking photo? Well, I have a photo of the cat, but it's not the cat it's not the cat in the relaxed pose. I also just had to make sure that that my screen wasn't showing where I was. So this is the stray / neighbor cat. And it's cool now. Like it wants to smell me when I'm near the door, and it wants to, and like when I'm near the door, it's just lying on its back, just having a great time. But when I've tried to introduce them through the wire door, like between them, I don't think either of them are a huge fan of that. So they, I was hoping that they would be friends. One, so that like, you know, they'll be, one, so that my cat has another cat to socialize with, and two, so she will stop running into the fucking window. I don't have like a high bar for this situation. I just need her to stop running into the window. So yeah, my goals are not like too crazy, I'm hoping, but yeah, she has not been a fan of the neighbor cat, which is a little bit of a shame. Well, I think the treat idea worked, because now she's not leaving. So once I can set up redeems, I think we may have something potentially. I have so many different ideas for redeems. It's dip for lunch. If you're still enough to come back, otherwise have a good rest stream. Thank you. Have a good lunch. I don't know how long I've got planned for this one. This is just kind of, I keep talking until either my throat gets tired, or the cat yells at me. I'm surprised she's not yelling at me now. I think that's because I just gave her treats, so she's briefly satisfied. But have a good lunch. And and I will see you when I see you, whether that's here or in one of the other streams that we frequent. Thinking of hooking a firecracker to one of your games. That would definitely be something. I don't know if I'd be allowed to do that. Mostly because it's a very like this room is enclosed, and I feel like they probably frown upon that. In my neighbors would probably not approve of that, and unlike certain other neighbors that were playing very, very loud music up until I started streaming, and other neighbors who were having domestic arguments at 6 o'clock in the morning, I like to be somewhat considerate of my neighbors. There may be a neighbor on the wall behind me, but I don't know when, and they've never confronted me about it. And it's like 10:30 at night for me now, and they've never confronted me about it, so I'm hoping that there is no one immediately in the room behind me. So I don't want to push my luck, though, because I still have to live next to them. I don't need a noise complaint on my room if I can help it. Ideally. But, yeah, it's a... I've got a lot of ideas, and I'm taking some advice from Jinx, who you've probably seen in, well, mostly Crow Stream, I would imagine, or Ravens if you frequent Ravens as well. And she gave the advice of just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks in regards to my various redeem ideas and so on, and so that's what I'm gonna do. I got a whole list, and we're gonna see which ones work, which ones people like, which ones I need to increase the value of and or reduce the availability of. Because I may have been... Question, yes, what is your question? So, yes, I've got a few, but I can't do anything with it until I get affiliate, but I like to be prepared. So, what actually happens if you get a noise complaint? I honestly don't know. I've never had one. I'm guessing that like it depends on how often it happens. Like if you, I think on like the first account, at least here at least, it's probably just a warning saying, "Hey, we've received a complaint about excess amount of noise on X date and time." I'd assume if you keep doing it, then they'd probably either fine you or the police may get involved. Depends on the time of day as well. Like if you're partying like at 2 o'clock in the morning in a suburban area, that's probably going to get a complaint and possibly a police visit. But if you're just like playing some loud music and your neighbor comes and goes, "Hey, can you turn that down?" You may get a warning, but it's probably going to be nothing fancy. It's a little bit different. Yeah, okay. Oh, how's it different for you actually? Because like I said, I've never actually had a noise complaint, so I don't know what the official like consequences are, so to speak. What country are you in, if you don't mind me asking, Sven? Because Bulgaria. Okay, there you go. That's interesting. Because like I said, I've never actually had a noise complaint, so I've never really needed to look up what they do if you get one against you. Don't you? Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, that's the thing, I suppose. Because I feel like, yeah. I feel like if it's just like a one-off thing and it's like if it's just like a complaint, they're probably not going to do too much about it. It's just more if you get like multiple complaints, that's when they're probably going to start looking into doing like fines, and I'm not actually sure. I am just talking out of my ass a little bit on that one. So yeah, it's that neighbor will have a much bigger problem. Fair enough. Luckily, one of my neighbors, I think, is unlikely to complain. One, because I don't really do anything that is complaint worthy, but two, because I did happen to see one of their children trying to steal mail from my front doorstep, and they know that. So they are not going to be doing anything that brings attention to them. They've been good since then, but one time was enough. The other one, the one that's behind me, haven't had any issues so far, and I'm hoping to keep it that way, because they're also not a loud neighbor. They're generally good. Those ones, they're usually fine, but like I said, if they want to start something, I have video evidence of their child opening my mail in front of my door. So, one of those has a dog, that dog barks nonstop. Yeah, that's a bit annoying. That's also another reason why I didn't want to, like, I like dogs. Don't get me wrong. Like, I've had, like, a few dogs in my years. But I work full time and I don't get a lot of time I wouldn't have enough time to take the dog out for a walk. And I feel like that's not fair for the dog. And if I couldn't do that for the dog, it's just going to get agitated. And when I'm away, it's just going to be loud and barking and scratching and all that sort of stuff. And so that's why I went with a cat, because they're generally a little bit quieter. Generally. Hooked up a train horn to my backyard. Well, that's one way to do it. I don't think I have a similar situation in that regard, but that would do it. That's funny. But yeah, it's been a week, and I'm kind of glad that that neighbor treats his dog better since I was back then. That's good. That's a promising sign that something good has come from your methods. But yeah, I'm very excited for next week, because my plan is to still stream at the usual times, but I have my concert next week, and I'm very excited because I haven't been to a concert in a long time, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. But other neighbors was a problem. Yeah, that's not great when you've got a couple of problem neighbors. Like when I was younger, like when I was a little, we did have neighbors much like that. One old man liked to shoot at the cats. Jesus Christ! Yeah, that's more than a problem neighbor. That person probably needs to get a visit from the police neighbor. That's fucked up. That's also another reason why my cat is an inside cat. Not that I think she's a risk at being shot at, but outdoor cats have a tendency to be more likely to get in trouble for one reason or another compared to the indoor cats. And had to talk with him. I should hope so. I feel like if it was me, my conversation would, like, my talk with him would basically be, what the fuck are you doing with my cats? Wasn't much talking involved. Yeah, that's fair. That's messed up. That person obviously has issues. That's fucked up. But sorry, laughter is like an anxiety response for me. But that's fucked up. That's not cool. Yeah, I probably would not have done much talking in that situation other than to just say, fuck off with you and your guns. Have a lot of cats and everyone loves them? Exactly. That's why it makes even less sense. Because it's cats. And, like, I've seen so many things, like, on, like, social media that even with, like, strays, people are generally pretty cool with strays unless they're like attacking people. It's not great that there's strays because it usually means that there's like a population issue with them. But that's no excuse for neighbors to just try and shoot them. That's no. No. No, no. That's messed up. Couple of people that found out they tortured cats and puppies. What the fuck is wrong with people? Oh, that's messed up. I do not get people who do that. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that it was a media thing. Because that's messed up. Because especially when, like, they're in jail, that's good. I mean, like, yeah, I would hope so. Because that is... Oh, I do not get people who do that. You cannot like animals and also just kind of not feel the need to physically dispose of them yourself. That is... Oh, I don't like that. But I've always been an animal person as well. It's like, animals love me. And that's also why I can't, like, I don't get people who are just, like, so anti-animal. I mean, well, most of the pets that loved me hated my brother, but my brother still loved animals. Jail currently acts as their protection so the public can't get to them. I am not surprised. Given how I just responded then, I'm not surprised that they're in jail for their protection. Because, yeah, I can imagine a lot of people probably would not be thrilled with having them out and about. Yeah, I would believe that. Because that's messed up. Speaking of which, I don't know why I went that direction. She's over there. She's getting annoyed now. Her body language is she's just kind of sitting on the edge of the desk, staring away from me. It's like her attempt at giving me the silent treatment, essentially. Because it's just like, pay attention to me ignoring you, kind of thing. More about general morality. Yeah, that's fair. But that's still messed up, though. That's not cool. After all, laws are made so people can get together. Yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, that's... Ugh. I don't get people. I would have more cats if my house was bigger. Because I feel like my cat needs a friend. That's why I've been trying to introduce it to the neighbor cat. You should not gauge morality based on written words. She said, yeah, that makes sense. Because the word of the law can be interpreted in many ways, and some of those ways are less good than others. So, that makes sense. Don't be an asshole and the super compared to other tribes. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how I tried to, like, a variation of that is how I've kind of tried to live my life. Essentially, it's just like the treat others as you want to be treated. I thought that was a more common mindset. Apparently, I just took that a little bit too literally when I was a kid, and that shit just got ingrained into my head. Because apparently not everyone follows that rule. That was disconcerting when I found that out. Because I was just like, if I would prefer, yeah, like I said, treat others the way that you would like to be treated. I'm not being an asshole to you. You don't be an asshole to me. It's pretty straightforward. At least that's what I thought. Evidently, not everyone follows that mindset, which I do not understand. Some people. That is unfortunate. Unfortunately, there's always going to be assholes out there. It's just the way the world is these days, unfortunately, which is a little bit disappointing. Because that's, it would be a lot better if everyone was just better with everyone else. Some place more than others, yeah. So it's not great. But what can you do? This is one of those things where it's just like, not everyone is going to be a good person, but I am going to try and do my best to be a good person and hope that my little impact will domino into other people trying to be good people. And then that will kind of spread out. So I'm kind of like, if I can help make one other person's life a little bit easier, I will do that. And hopefully that positivity will spread. Not praise for we are poor, but there's no poor people where no one's hungry, no everyone's polite, everyone's kind. Yeah. That's good. Like, everyone should be kind. So yeah, that's yeah. Like I said, everyone's good. Every place has good people. Every place has bad people. It's just unfortunate that the bad people are usually louder about it. So, unfortunately, the negativity gets spread a lot faster than the other ones. But it's like that is something that like I've done a lot of work in customer service and various fields relating to that, and that's kind of one thing that we've basically got ingrained into us when it comes to like customers leaving reviews and that sort of thing, and that it's a lot easier for someone to make a complaint about something negative than it is for someone to leave something positive. So we work a little bit harder to try and make sure everyone's having a positive experience, because it's more likely that people are going to leave a negative experience than a positive experience. So you know that the ones that have left the positive experience, they've had a good, like they've had a notable experience to the point that they've like, I need to let them know that I've had a good experience. Because more often than not, you're going to get, I was in a bad mood, something didn't go exactly the way that I planned, and now I'm taking it out on this item. Takes a lot to gain a reputation, but only one person ruin it. Yes, that is a slightly more succinct way of saying what I was trying to say this. So, yes, what you just said. But yeah, so that's the thing. So if like I try to help be the person, or be a person, not the person. I'm hoping I'm not the only person, but I try to be a person to help kind of build that up as opposed to bringing stuff down. Because like I am a big believer in like, well, I guess it's kind of constructive criticism in that regard. Like, if you've had an experience that could have been better, how could it have been better? As opposed to complaining about what went wrong, figure out what could make it better. Happiness, rainbows, sunshine, puppies, yes. All good things. We'll focus on them. So, on that note, my cat is still giving me the silent treatment, staring pointedly away from me at the moment. So I might finish up on stream. Probably not going to raid out, at least not at this specific point in time. I will eventually get around to raiding out to more people. I just need to remember. I will eventually do more raids, but I'm gonna go feed my cat, and then I'm gonna probably play some Age of Empires. Now that I realize that I have access to it, I'm gonna play it. Refuel the car? Exactly. Yes, she needs refueling. And then she'll take like 2 bites and then walk away. And then she'll come back like an hour later. So I'm going to go do that. Hopefully you have a good Friday. Good rest of your day. Go work on the game because I'm good. Yeah, just good. Yes, that is. Please don't do that. Work on the game. Try not to poop your pants. Ideally. I mean, you do you. Hopefully you can do one without the other. But yes, go get some work done. See how you go. Hopefully make a little bit of progress. Metaphorically. Well, hopefully, I'm hoping it's metaphorically. But yes, go get some work done. I will probably see you in either... hopefully in one of these streams again, or if not here, in one of the other streams that we both tend to frequent. But otherwise, I will be off. Have a great day or evening, depending on whoever is watching and where you are in the world. Hope you're all doing well. Tend to hang out while working. Fair enough. I appreciate you being here. Nonetheless, even if you're meant to be working, I appreciate the visit still. It was fun. I'm glad I was able to be there. So have a great day / evening, or whatever the day may be for you. I will see you next time. And yeah, keep it real. Have a great day.